Marcus Thompson looked at his watch for the 10th time that afternoon. It was only 2:30 p.m. and his shift at Henderson's Electronics still had 4 more hours to go. He let out a long sigh and leaned against the counter, scrolling through his phone for the 100th time that day. At 22 years old, Marcus thought he had figured out everything about working in retail. He had been a cashier at Henderson's Electronics for 3 whole years. That was longer than most people stayed at this job. In his mind, this made him an expert on customers and how the store worked. The store was not very busy today. Only a few customers walked around looking at televisions and phones. Marcus watched them from behind his counter. He had developed a bad habit over the years. He would look at customers and decide if they were worth his time or not. Rich-looking. People got his attention. Everyone else got ignored. Henderson's Electronics was not a fancy store. It sat in a strip mall between a pizza place and a hair salon. The store sold televisions, computers, phones, cameras, and video games. It was the kind of place where families came to buy their first big-screen TV or where teenagers saved up money to buy the latest gaming console. Mr. Henderson, the owner, was an old man who rarely came to the store anymore. He left most of the work to Jennifer Walsh, the store manager. Jennifer was a nice woman in her 40s who actually cared about customer service. She always told the workers to treat every customer well, no matter how they looked or dressed. But Marcus did not really listen to Jennifer's advice. He thought he was smarter than everyone else. When well-dressed customers came in, Marcus would jump up and offer to help them. He would smile big and ask lots of questions. He hoped these customers would buy expensive things and make him look good. When customers who looked poor or young came in, Marcus acted different. He would stay on his phone and pretend to be busy. Sometimes he would watch them like they might steal something. He thought these customers were wasting his time because they probably could not afford anything good. Marcus had learned to judge people quickly. Expensive clothes meant money. Cheap clothes meant no money. Fancy cars in the parking lot meant big sales. Old cars meant small sales or no sales at all. This was how Marcus saw the world, and he thought he was always right. The other workers at the store knew about Marcus's attitude, but they did not say much. Sarah, who worked part-time after school, thought Marcus was mean, but she was too shy to speak up. David, who worked in the back fixing computers, did not like Marcus's behavior either, but David kept to himself and avoided drama. Jennifer had noticed Marcus's poor attitude toward certain customers. She had talked to him about it before, but Marcus always had excuses. He would say he was busy with other things, or that some customers just did not seem serious about buying anything. Jennifer was getting tired of his excuses, but she had not decided what to do about it yet. On this particular Tuesday afternoon, Marcus was especially bored and grumpy. He had not made any big sales this week. His commission check would be small, again. He blamed the customers for not buying enough expensive items. It never occurred to him that his bad attitude might be driving customers away. The store felt quiet and sleepy. The air conditioning hummed softly, and the display TVs played, the same commercial over and over. Marcus played a game on his phone, barely looking up when the door chime rang to signal a new customer. A short man walked into the store. He was probably in his 30s, with dark skin and a bright smile. He wore a simple t-shirt, jeans, and clean white sneakers. Nothing about his appearance screamed money to Marcus. The man looked around the store with interest, like he was seeing it for the first time. Marcus glanced up from his phone for just a second. He saw the casual clothes and the regular sneakers. In his mind, he immediately put this customer in the not worth my time category. Marcus went back to his phone game without offering to help. The customer walked slowly through the store. He stopped at the television section and looked at the big screens. He read the price tags and seemed to be thinking about something. Then he moved to the computer section and did the same thing. Marcus watched him out of the corner of his eye but did not get up from his chair. Sarah was helping another customer pick out a phone case. David was in the back room working on a broken laptop. Jennifer was in her office doing paperwork. The customer spent a lot of time looking at different items. He was not in a hurry like most people. He actually read the information tags and compared features between products. This was usually a sign of a serious buyer, but Marcus did not notice because he was not really paying attention. After about 20 minutes, the customer made his way to the camera section. This was where the store kept its most expensive items. Professional cameras, fancy lenses, and video equipment filled the display cases. The prices on these items started at over $1,000 and went up to $5,000 or more. Marcus finally looked up when he saw where the customer was standing. He almost laughed out loud. Here was this regular-looking guy in a t-shirt and jeans, staring at cameras that cost more than most people made in a month. Marcus thought it was funny that some people did not understand how expensive these things were. The customer leaned down to get a better look at a particular camera. It was a professional model that cost $3,000. He read the information card carefully and seemed very interested in the technical details. Marcus shook his head and went back to his phone. He was sure this customer was just dreaming about things he could never afford. People did this all the time. They would come in and look at expensive items, then leave without buying anything. Marcus had seen it happen hundreds of times, but this customer was different, even though Marcus did not realize it yet. The man was not just looking at prices. He was studying the cameras like someone who actually knew about photography. He understood what all the numbers and features meant. He was shopping with a purpose, not just daydreaming. The customer took his time in the camera section. He looked at several different models and read about their features. He seemed to be making mental notes about which ones he liked best. His behavior suggested he was planning to make a purchase, but Marcus was too busy with his phone to notice these signs. As the afternoon continued, Marcus remained behind his counter, completely unaware that he was about to make the biggest mistake of his working life. He had no idea that this regular-looking customer would soon change everything about his job and teach him a lesson he would never forget. The customer had been looking at cameras for almost 30 minutes when he finally walked toward Marcus's counter. He had a friendly smile on his face and seemed excited about something. Marcus looked up from his phone with an annoyed expression, like the customer was bothering him. "Excuse me," the customer said politely. "I have some questions about that camera over there, the one that cost $3,000. Marcus let out a small laugh before he could stop himself. He looked the customer up and down, taking in the simple clothes and regular sneakers again. In Marcus's mind, this guy was clearly dreaming about things he could not buy. "Sir," Marcus said with a smirk, "that's a professional camera. It's not for regular people who just want to take pictures of their family. Are you sure you're looking in the right section?" The customer's smile did not change, but something flickered in his eyes. He had dealt with this kind of treatment before. "Yes, I'm sure," he said calmly. "I'm interested in the technical features. Can you tell me about the lens options?" Marcus rolled his eyes. He thought this customer was trying to act like he knew about cameras when he obviously did not have enough money to buy one. This happened sometimes. People would pretend to be serious buyers just to waste everyone's time. "Look," Marcus said, pointing across the store. "We have some nice point-and-shoot cameras over there that might be more suitable for your budget. They're much cheaper and easier to use. You don't need all those complicated features." The customer stayed patient even though Marcus was being rude. "I appreciate the suggestion, but I'm really interested in the professional equipment. I'm looking for something specific for my work." Marcus laughed again, louder this time. "Your work? What kind of work do you do that needs a $3,000 camera?" "I'm in entertainment," the customer replied simply. "I need professional quality equipment for filming projects." This made Marcus laugh even harder. He had heard this excuse before. Everyone thought they were going to be famous on social media or YouTube. They all claimed they needed expensive equipment for their projects, but most of these dreamers never bought anything. "Entertainment, huh?" Marcus said with obvious disbelief. "Let me guess. You want to be a famous YouTuber? Or maybe you think you're going to make movies?" The customer remained calm, but other people in the store were starting to notice the conversation. Sarah looked over from where she was helping another customer. She could tell that Marcus was being rude, and it made her uncomfortable. "I make comedy content," the customer said, "and some films. I really do need professional equipment." "Marcus," shook his head and made an exaggerated, sad face. That's what they all say, buddy. Look, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but do you know how much that camera actually costs? $3,000. That's just for the camera body. The lenses cost even more. We're talking about maybe $6,000 or $7,000 total for a complete setup. The customer nodded. I understand the prices. That's why I want to ask questions before I buy anything. Can you help me, or should I talk to someone else? Marcus felt irritated that this customer was not giving up. Most people would have walked away by now, embarrassed that they could not afford what they were looking at. But this guy kept insisting he was serious. Fine, Marcus said with a sigh. What do you want to know? But I'm telling you right now, this stuff is way out of your price range. The customer started asking detailed questions about camera features. He wanted to know about video recording quality, low light performance, and which lenses worked best for different types of shots. His questions were very specific and showed that he actually knew a lot about photography and filming. Marcus answered the questions, but he did it in a rude way. He used simple words like he was talking to a child. He acted like the customer was too stupid to understand complicated technical information. This camera can record in 4K, Marcus said slowly, like he was explaining to someone who had never heard of 4K before. That means really, really high-quality video. But you probably don't need that for your little YouTube videos. The customer kept asking questions, and Marcus kept being sarcastic in his answers. Other customers in the store could hear the conversation, and some of them looked uncomfortable. They could tell that Marcus was treating this man badly. Sarah finished helping her customer and walked closer to the counter. She did not like how Marcus was acting, but she did not know what to do about it. She was just a part-time worker, and Marcus had been there much longer than her. Maybe I should get the manager, the customer suggested after Marcus made another rude comment. Someone who knows more about the equipment. Marcus felt annoyed that the customer was questioning his knowledge. He had been working at this store for 3 years. He knew everything about the products they sold. Who was this random guy to suggest that Marcus did not know enough? I know plenty about cameras, Marcus said defensively. I've been working here for 3 years. I'm telling you everything you need to know. I'm sure you know a lot, the customer said diplomatically. But I'd like to get a second opinion before I make such a big purchase. Could you please call your manager? Marcus let out a loud, dramatic sigh. He was tired of dealing with this time waster. But if getting the manager would make this customer realize he could not afford anything and leave, then fine. Jennifer, Marcus called toward the back office. Someone wants to talk to you about expensive cameras he can't afford. The customer looked surprised by how rudely Marcus announced him. Other customers in the store definitely heard that comment, and some of them shook their heads in disapproval. Jennifer Walsh came out of her office with a confused look on her face. She had heard Marcus's loud comment and wondered what was going on. As the store manager, she prided herself on good customer service. Marcus's announcement did not sound professional at all. Is there a problem? Jennifer asked as she approached. The counter. No problem, the customer said with a smile. I just have some questions about professional camera equipment, and I'd like to speak with someone who has experience with these products. Marcus crossed his arms and made a face like he was being treated unfairly. I was helping him just fine. He's looking at the $3,000 camera, but he's obviously not going to buy it. Jennifer looked at Marcus with a sharp expression. She did not like his attitude or the way he was talking about a customer right in front of that customer's face. I'd be happy to help you, Jennifer told the customer warmly. What specific information are you looking for? As Jennifer began talking to the customer, Marcus stood behind the counter feeling frustrated. He was sure he was right about this guy. People who looked like regular, everyday folks did not buy expensive professional cameras. This customer was just wasting everyone's time, and soon Jennifer would figure that out too. But Marcus was about to learn that his assumptions about people were completely wrong, and this lesson would change his life in ways he never could have imagined. Jennifer Walsh walked around the counter to get a better look at the customer who wanted help with cameras. As soon as she saw his face clearly, her eyes went wide with surprise. She blinked several times to make sure she was seeing correctly. 2. Customer noticed her reaction and smiled a little bigger. "Hi there," he said in a friendly voice. Jennifer felt her heart start beating faster. She had seen this face many times before, but never in her store. She had watched his movies and comedy shows on television. She had laughed at his jokes and followed his career for years. But she never expected to see him shopping in Henderson's Electronics. She tried to keep her cool and act professional, but inside she was excited and shocked. This was not just any regular customer. This was someone famous, someone really, really famous. And Marcus had been treating him terribly. "I'm Jennifer Walsh, the store manager," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "How can I help? You today?" Marcus watched from behind the counter, confused by Jennifer's reaction. She was acting strange, like she was nervous or excited about something. But Marcus could not figure out what was making her act this way. To him, this was still just some random guy in jeans and sneakers. The customer extended his hand for a handshake. "Nice to meet you, Jennifer. I'm Kevin. I'm interested in upgrading my camera equipment for some upcoming projects." Jennifer shook, his hand still trying to process that this was really happening. Kevin Hart was in her store asking about cameras, and her cashier had been rude to him for the past 20 minutes. "Of course, Kevin," she said, using his first name like they were old friends. "I'd be more than happy to help you find exactly what you need. I'm so sorry if there was any confusion earlier." Marcus heard Jennifer use the customer's first name and thought it was weird. Jennifer was always professional with customers. She usually called them sir or ma'am. Why was she acting so friendly with this guy? Kevin smiled and seemed relieved to be talking to someone who was treating him with respect. "Thank you. I'm looking for a camera system that can handle both photography and high-quality video recording. I need it for professional work, so quality is very important." Jennifer nodded eagerly. "Absolutely. We have several excellent options that would be perfect for professional entertainment work. Let me show you what we have." When Jennifer said, "professional entertainment work," Marcus felt confused. How did she know what kind of work this customer did? Had Marcus missed part of their conversation? Jennifer led Kevin back to the camera section, talking enthusiastically about different features and options. She clearly knew a lot about cameras and photography equipment. But more than that, she was treating this customer like he was someone very important. Marcus followed behind them, pretending to organize some nearby products so he could listen to their conversation. He still could not understand why Jennifer was giving this customer so much special attention. "This model here is very popular with film professionals," Jennifer explained, pointing to the camera Kevin had been asking about earlier. "It records in 4K at multiple frame rates, and the low-light performance is exceptional." Kevin nodded and asked intelligent questions about the camera's features. His questions showed that he really did know about professional filming equipment. He was not just someone pretending to understand cameras. He actually knew what he was talking about. Marcus began to feel a little worried. Maybe this customer really was in the entertainment business. Maybe Marcus had been wrong about him, but that seemed impossible. People in entertainment were supposed to be rich and dress fancy. This guy looks so normal. "The lens selection for this camera is excellent," Jennifer continued. "We have everything from wide-angle lenses for landscape shots to telephoto lenses for close-up work. Are you planning to do mostly indoor filming or outdoor work?" "A mix of both," Kevin replied. "I do a lot of stage work, but I also film content in different locations. I need equipment that's versatile and reliable." Marcus tried to interrupt the conversation. "Jennifer, should I be helping other customers? This seems like it might take a while, and maybe he's not ready to buy today anyway." Jennifer turned around and gave Marcus a look that could have frozen fire. Her eyes were sharp and angry, and her voice was firm when she spoke. "Marcus, I can handle this customer personally. Why don't you focus on organizing the phone accessories, and please make sure you greet every customer who comes in properly." The way Jennifer emphasized the word properly made it clear that she was not happy with how Marcus had treated Kevin earlier. Marcus felt embarrassed and confused, but he walked away to work on the phone accessories like Jennifer had suggested. As Marcus organized phone cases and chargers, he kept listening to Jennifer and Kevin's conversation. Jennifer was being incredibly helpful and knowledgeable. She was treating Kevin like he was the most important customer who had ever come into the store. Would you like to hold the camera and get a feel for it? Jennifer offered. Sometimes the weight and balance are just as important as the technical features. Kevin picked up the camera and looked through the viewfinder. He adjusted some settings and took a few test shots of items around the store. He handled the camera like someone who had used professional equipment many times before. This feels really good, Kevin said. The controls are intuitive and the image quality looks excellent even on the back screen. Jennifer beamed with pride, like she had personally designed the camera. It really is a fantastic piece of equipment. Many professional photographers and filmmakers choose this exact model. Marcus watched this interaction and felt more confused than ever. Jennifer was acting like she personally knew this customer, even though Marcus was sure he had never seen the guy in the store before today. After Kevin had tested the camera, Jennifer showed him different lens options. She explained what each lens was good for and how much they cost. Kevin listened carefully and asked more detailed questions about compatibility and performance. "I think I'd like to see the telephoto lens in action," Kevin said. "Can we attach it and see how it performs?" "Of course," Jennifer said enthusiastically. She carefully attached the telephoto lens to the camera and handed it back to Kevin. Kevin looked through the camera with the new lens attached. He aimed it at different objects around the store, testing how it zoomed and focused. His face lit up with satisfaction. "This is exactly what I need," he said. "The zoom is smooth and the image stays sharp even at maximum magnification." Marcus could not believe what he was hearing. This customer was talking like he was actually going to buy this expensive equipment, but that seemed impossible based on how he looked. Jennifer and Kevin continued talking about cameras and lenses for another 15 minutes. Jennifer answered every question with patience and expertise. She was giving Kevin the kind of customer service that Marcus usually only gave to people who looked wealthy. Finally, Kevin stepped back from the camera display and smiled at Jennifer. "You've been incredibly helpful. I think I know what I want to buy." Jennifer's eyes lit up with excitement. "Wonderful. What can I put together for you?" As Kevin started listing the items he wanted to purchase, Marcus felt his mouth drop open, in shock. This was not going the way he had expected at all. Kevin looked at Jennifer with a confident smile and began listing the items he wanted to buy. Marcus moved closer to the counter, pretending to work, but really trying to hear every word of the conversation. "I'll take the camera body we just tested," Kevin said. "The one that costs $3,000. Jennifer nodded and wrote the item down on her notepad. Marcus felt his stomach flip. This customer was actually serious about buying the expensive camera that Marcus had laughed at him for looking at. "I'll also need the telephoto lens we just tried," Kevin continued. "And that wide-angle lens you showed me earlier." Jennifer smiled and added those items to the list. Each lens cost over $1,000. Marcus could not believe what he was hearing. This was already a huge sale, and Kevin was not finished yet. "Do you have any lighting equipment?" Kevin asked. "I need some portable lights for indoor filming." "We absolutely do," Jennifer replied enthusiastically. She led Kevin to another section of the store where they kept professional lighting gear. Marcus followed behind them, still in shock about what was happening. Jennifer showed Kevin several different lighting setups. There were LED panels, softbox lights, and portable studio kits. All of this equipment was expensive and usually only bought by serious professionals. "This portable kit looks perfect," Kevin said, pointing to a lighting system that cost $1,500. "It has everything I need for location shooting." Jennifer added the lighting kit to Kevin's growing list of purchases. Marcus did quick math in his head and realized this sale was already worth more than $6,000. That was more than Marcus usually sold in an entire month. "What about memory cards and batteries?" Kevin asked. "I want to make sure I have enough backup equipment." Jennifer showed Kevin the high-capacity memory cards and extra batteries that worked with his camera. Kevin selected several of each, not worried about the cost. He was shopping like someone who had an unlimited budget. "I'll take 4 of the large memory cards and 3 extra batteries," Kevin said. "And do you have any camera bags that would fit all this equipment?" Jennifer practically glowed with excitement as she showed Kevin the professional camera bags. These were not cheap bags either. They were high-quality cases designed to protect expensive equipment during travel. Kevin selected A bag that cost $300. It had special compartments for cameras, lenses, and accessories. The bag was designed for professionals who traveled with valuable equipment. "This bag is perfect," Kevin said. "It will keep everything organized and protected." Marcus watched all of this happening and felt like he was in a dream. This customer that he had dismissed and laughed at was making one of the biggest purchases in the store's history. Everything Marcus thought he knew about judging customers was turning out to be completely wrong. Jennifer continued adding items to Kevin's purchase list. The total kept growing higher and higher. Marcus had never seen anyone buy so much expensive equipment at once. "Do you offer any warranties on this equipment?" Kevin asked. "We do," Jennifer replied. "We have extended warranties that cover repairs and replacements for up to 3 years. "I'll take the extended warranties on everything," Kevin said without hesitation. "When you're using equipment professionally, you need to make sure it's protected." The extended warranties added another $800 to the total purchase. Marcus could not even calculate how much money Kevin was spending. It was more than Marcus made in several months of working. Jennifer wrote down all of Kevin's purchases and began calculating the total cost. Her hands were slightly shaking with excitement. Sales like this were rare at Henderson's Electronics. Most customers bought one item at a time, not entire professional setups. "Let me get the final total for you," Jennifer said, using a calculator to add up all the items and warranties. While Jennifer calculated, Kevin looked around the store calmly. He did not seem nervous about spending so much money. He acted like this was a normal shopping trip for him. Marcus stood nearby, still trying to process what was happening. He kept thinking about how he had laughed at Kevin and told him to look at cheaper cameras. Now Kevin was buying everything Marcus had said was too expensive for him. "The total comes to $8,467, Jennifer announced. "Plus tax, that brings it to $9,112. Marcus felt his knees go weak. Over $9,000. That was more money than he had ever seen a customer spend at one time. And this was the customer he had been rude to and dismissed as a time waster. Kevin did not even blink at the total. "That sounds perfect," he said, reaching for his wallet. Marcus expected Kevin to pull out a credit card, but instead, he pulled out a black card that Marcus had never seen before. It was made of metal and had a different look than regular credit cards. Jennifer recognized the card immediately. It was a special credit card that only very wealthy people could get. You had to spend a lot of money every year just to qualify for one of these cards. Kevin handed the black card to Jennifer without any worry about the price. He did not ask for a payment plan or try to negotiate a discount. He was ready to pay the full amount right away. Jennifer processed the payment and it went through immediately. No problems, no declined messages, no calls to the bank. The $9,000 purchase was approved in seconds. While the payment was processing, Kevin asked about delivery options. "I have some equipment at home that I need to keep safe. Could you deliver this to my studio instead?" "Of course," Jennifer said. "We offer white glove delivery service for large purchases like this. We'll bring everything to your studio and set it up for you." Kevin smiled. "That would be great. I have a production company, so I need everything to be ready for filming next week." Jennifer arranged the special delivery service and gave Kevin a receipt for his purchase. She also gave him her business card and told him to call if he needed anything else. "You've been wonderful to work with," Kevin told Jennifer. "I'll definitely be coming back when I need more equipment." Jennifer beamed with pride. "Thank you so much. We really appreciate your business and we're here whenever you need anything." As Kevin prepared to leave, he looked over at Marcus, who was still standing nearby in shock. Kevin's expression was kind, but there was something in his eyes that suggested he remembered exactly how Marcus had treated him earlier. "Thank you for your help too," Kevin said to Marcus with a polite smile. Marcus mumbled something that might have been, "You're welcome," but he was too embarrassed and confused to speak clearly. Kevin walked toward the exit, and Jennifer followed him to the door to thank him again for his business. As Kevin left the store, Jennifer turned around with the biggest smile Marcus had ever seen on her face. But Marcus was not smiling. He was standing there realizing that he had just made the biggest mistake of his working life. He had been rude to a customer who had just spent over $9,000 in their store. Marcus did not know it yet, but his problems were just beginning. What he was about to learn about Kevin would make him feel even worse about his behavior. And the consequences of his rudeness would change his life in ways he never could have imagined. Marcus arrived at work the next morning feeling nervous and worried. He had barely slept the night before, thinking about his rude behavior toward Kevin Hart. He wondered if Jennifer had decided to fire him or write him up for his poor customer service. The store was quiet when Marcus arrived. Sarah was already there, organizing phone accessories. David was in the back room working on computer repairs. Jennifer was in her office, but her door was closed, which usually meant she was busy with important business. Marcus tried to act normal and started his opening duties. He turned on the display televisions, checked the cash register, and made sure the front counter was clean. But his mind kept wandering to thoughts about Kevin Hart and what might happen to his job. Around 10 o'clock, Jennifer's office door opened. She walked out with a serious expression on her face and looked around the store. When she saw that there were no customers, she called for everyone's attention. "Sarah, David, Marcus," she said. "I need everyone to gather around. I have some important news to share with all of you." The three employees walked over to where Jennifer was standing near the front counter. Marcus felt his heart beating fast. He was sure Jennifer was about to announce that he was fired because of yesterday's incident with Kevin Hart. Jennifer looked at each of them before speaking. Her expression was serious but not angry like Marcus had expected. "I got a phone call this morning from corporate headquarters," Jennifer began. "There have been some major changes, and I wanted to tell you all at the same time." Marcus felt sick. This was it. Corporate had found out about his rude behavior, and now there would be consequences for the whole store. "Henderson's Electronics has been sold," Jennifer announced. "We have a new owner." Sarah, David, and Marcus all looked surprised. This was not what any of them had expected to hear. They had known that Mr. Henderson was getting older, but no one thought he would sell the store. "The new owner has big plans for this location," Jennifer continued. "They want to renovate the entire store and turn it into a flagship location with the latest technology and premium customer service." David raised his hand. "What does that mean for our jobs?" Jennifer smiled a little. "The good news is that the new owner wants to keep the current staff, but there will be changes. Everyone will need to go through customer service training, and there will be new standards for how we treat customers." Marcus felt a tiny bit of relief. At least he was not being fired immediately, but he still worried about what the new owner might think of his behavior if they found out about the Kevin Hart incident. "When will we meet the new owner?" Sarah asked. "Very soon," Jennifer replied. "They're planning to visit the store next week to meet everyone and explain their vision for the renovations." Jennifer continued explaining the changes that were coming. The new owner wanted to install new displays, add more premium products, and create a better shopping experience for customers. They also planned to invest in employee training and possibly give raises to workers who performed well. "This is actually very exciting news," Jennifer said. "The new owner seems to really care about customer service and treating people well. They want this store to be known for having the best customer service in the area." When Jennifer mentioned customer service, she looked directly at Marcus. He got the message clearly. With new ownership and new standards, his attitude toward customers would have to change completely. "Will there be any layoffs?" David asked nervously. "The new owner assured me that no one will be laid off because of the sale," Jennifer replied. "But everyone will need to meet the new performance standards. People who embrace the changes and improve their customer service will have opportunities for advancement." Marcus wondered what advancement opportunities meant. Maybe there would be chances for promotions or raises for employees who did well under the new ownership. "What kind of customer service training will we have?" Sarah asked. Jennifer smiled. "The new owner is bringing in professional trainers who specialize in retail customer service. We'll learn how to make every customer feel welcome and valued, regardless of how they look or what they want to buy." Again, Jennifer looked at Marcus when she mentioned treating all customers equally. Marcus was starting to understand that his behavior needed to change dramatically if he wanted to keep his Up under the new ownership. When do the renovations start? David asked. In about 2 weeks, Jennifer replied. The store will stay open during most of the renovation work, but there might be some days when we need to close early or open late. Jennifer explained that the new owner wanted to create a modern, welcoming environment that would attract more customers. They planned to reorganize the entire store layout and add comfortable seating areas where customers could test products. The new owner also wants to expand our product selection, Jennifer continued. We'll be carrying more professional equipment, high-end electronics, and specialty items that other stores don't have. Marcus thought about how this related to yesterday's incident. If they were going to carry more expensive professional equipment, they would probably have more customers like Kevin Hart, who were serious about buying high-end products. Will our work schedules change? Sarah asked. Probably not much, Jennifer replied. But the new owner wants to make sure we have enough staff to provide excellent customer service during busy times. There might be opportunities for more hours or full-time positions. This sounded like good news to Marcus. More hours would mean more money and possibly a full-time position with benefits. But he knew he would have to prove himself worthy of these opportunities. Jennifer spent another 20 minutes explaining details about the transition to new ownership. She talked about timelines for renovations, new employee policies, and expectations for customer service. I want everyone to understand that this is a fresh start for our store, Jennifer said. The new owner is investing a lot of money to make this place special. They expect all of us to rise to the occasion and provide the kind of customer service that will make people want to come back. As Jennifer finished her announcement, Marcus felt a mixture of hope and worry. This could be a great opportunity for him to start over and prove that he could be a good employee, but it also meant that his old way of treating customers would no longer be acceptable. Are there any questions? Jennifer asked. Marcus raised his hand nervously. Will the new owner know about problems that happened before they took over? Jennifer looked at Marcus thoughtfully. The new owner is focused on moving forward and creating a positive environment. What matters most is how we all perform going forward. Marcus felt some relief at Jennifer's answer. It sounded like he might get a chance to prove himself without his past mistakes counting against him immediately. I expect all of you to embrace these changes, Jennifer said. This is an opportunity for our store to become something really special, and it's an opportunity for each of you to grow and advance in your careers. After Jennifer dismissed them to return to their work duties, Marcus felt cautiously optimistic. Maybe this new ownership would give him a chance to redeem himself after his terrible behavior toward Kevin Hart. But Marcus had no idea just how surprised he was about to be when he met the new owner. The biggest shock of his life was still coming, and it would teach him lessons he would never forget. A week had passed since Jennifer announced the sale of Henderson's Electronics. Marcus had spent that entire week trying to be the perfect employee. He greeted every customer with a smile, offered help to everyone who walked through the door, and stopped judging people based on their appearance. The change in Marcus's behavior was so dramatic that Sarah and David both noticed. Sarah even commented that Marcus seemed like a completely different person at work. On Thursday morning, Jennifer told everyone that the new owner would be visiting that afternoon. She wanted all employees to be on their best behavior and ready to make a good first impression. Marcus felt nervous but also excited. This was his chance to show the new owner that he was a valuable employee who deserved to keep his job. He had been practicing his customer service skills all week, and he felt ready to impress. Jennifer spent the morning making sure the store looked perfect. She organized displays, cleaned all the surfaces, and made sure every product was in its proper place. She wanted everything to look professional when the new owner arrived. Around 2 o'clock, Jennifer gathered the staff together for a final reminder about the owner's visit. Remember, be polite, professional, and helpful, she told them. The new owner is bringing some contractors and designers to look at renovation plans, so there will be several people walking around the store. Marcus straightened his shirt and checked his appearance in the security monitor. He wanted to look his best when he met the new owner. At exactly 3 o'clock, the front door chime rang, and Jennifer walked toward the entrance to greet the visitors. Marcus watched from behind the counter as Jennifer shook hands with a group of men wearing suits and carrying clipboards. The contractors and designers spread out around the store, measuring walls and taking notes about the current layout. They talked quietly among themselves about renovation ideas and timeline estimates. Marcus kept working at his station, but he watched the entrance carefully, waiting to see the new owner arrive. He expected to see a wealthy businessman in an expensive suit, probably driving a luxury car. About 10 minutes later, Marcus heard a familiar laugh coming from the back of the store. The sound made him freeze in place. He knew that laugh. He had heard it on television shows and in movies, but that was impossible. There was no way that laugh could be coming from his store. Marcus turned around slowly and saw someone walking out of Jennifer's office with the contractors and designers. At first, Marcus thought his eyes were playing tricks on him, but as the group got closer, Marcus felt his heart stop beating. The new owner of Henderson's Electronics was Kevin Hart. Kevin was dressed casually again, wearing jeans and a polo shirt. He was talking animatedly with the contractors about his plans for the store renovation. He looked comfortable and confident, clearly in charge of the whole operation. Marcus felt like he might faint. The customer he had been rude to last week was now his boss. The man he had laughed at and dismissed was the person who owned the store where Marcus worked. Kevin and the group walked through different sections of the store, with Kevin pointing out areas where he wanted to make changes. He talked about creating better customer service areas, adding comfortable seating, and displaying products in more appealing ways. As they moved through the store, Kevin greeted each employee warmly. He shook hands with David and Sarah, asking their names and how long they had worked at the store. He seemed genuinely interested in getting to know his new employees. Finally, the group reached the front counter where Marcus was standing. Marcus felt his legs shaking as Kevin approached. Their eyes met, and Kevin smiled the same friendly smile he had worn during his shopping visit the week before. "Hey there," Kevin said cheerfully. "You're Marcus, right? I remember you from when I was shopping here last week." Marcus could barely speak. His mouth felt dry and his voice came out as a whisper. "Yes, sir, I'm Marcus." Kevin extended his hand for a handshake, just like he had done with David and Sarah. "It's good to see you again, Marcus. I'm Kevin Hart, and I'm the new owner of this store." Marcus shook Kevin's hand, still unable to believe what was happening. The person he had treated so poorly was now standing in front of him as his new boss. "I hope you're excited about the changes we're going to make," Kevin continued. "I have big plans for this place, and I'm counting on all of you to help make it successful." The contractors and designers continued their work around the store while Kevin talked to Marcus. Jennifer stood nearby, watching the interaction with interest. She could see that Marcus looked shocked and nervous. "I know change can be scary," Kevin said kindly, "but I believe this store has a lot of potential. With the right team and the right attitude, we can create something really special here." Marcus finally found his voice. "Mr. Hart, I need to apologize for how I treated you last week. I was rude and unprofessional, and I'm sorry." Kevin's expression remained friendly and understanding. "I appreciate the apology, Marcus. We all make mistakes. What matters is that we learn from them and do better going forward." The kindness in Kevin's response made Marcus feel even worse about his behavior. Kevin could have been angry or vindictive, but instead he was being generous and forgiving. "I want this store to be known for having the best customer service in the area," Kevin continued. "That means treating every customer with respect and kindness regardless of how they look or what they want to buy." Marcus nodded eagerly. "Yes, sir, I understand completely. I've been working on improving my customer service all week." Kevin smiled. "That's great to hear. Jennifer tells me you've been making positive changes in how you interact with customers." Marcus felt surprised that Jennifer had said positive things about him to Kevin. After his terrible behavior the week before, he had expected Jennifer to warn Kevin about his attitude problems. "Everyone deserves a chance to grow and improve," Kevin said. "I'm more interested in who you are now and who you want to become than in mistakes you've made in the past." The contractors called Kevin over to discuss some technical details about the renovation plans. Before walking away, Kevin turned back to Marcus. "Keep up the good work with customer service," Kevin said. "I'm looking forward to seeing how you contribute to our team." As Kevin walked away with the contractors, Marcus stood behind the counter, feeling amazed by what had just happened. The person he had treated terribly had just given him encouragement and support instead of punishment. Jennifer approached Marcus after Kevin and the contractors moved to another part of the store. "How are you feeling?" she asked quietly. Marcus shook his head in disbelief. "I can't believe Kevin Hart is our new boss, and I can't believe how nice he was to me after how rude I was to him." Jennifer nodded. "That tells you something about his character. He could have held a grudge, but instead he's giving you a chance to prove yourself." Marcus watched Kevin across the store, talking enthusiastically with the designers about his vision for the renovation. Kevin clearly cared about making the store successful and creating a positive environment for both employees and customers. "I'm not going to waste this opportunity," Marcus told Jennifer. "I'm going to be the best employee he's ever had." Jennifer smiled. "I believe you will be. This could be a fresh start for all of us." As the afternoon continued, Marcus watched Kevin interact with everyone in the store. Kevin was respectful to the contractors, friendly with the employees, and excited about the renovation plans. He was exactly the kind of boss that Marcus had always hoped to work for. When Kevin and his team finally left the store, Marcus felt like his entire world had changed. He had learned that success and wealth didn't always look the way he expected. More importantly, he had learned that treating people with kindness and respect was always the right thing to do. The biggest lesson of Marcus's life was just beginning, and he was ready to embrace the changes that were coming. After Kevin left the store, Jennifer stood by the door for a moment, still smiling with excitement. Marcus watched her from behind the counter, feeling confused and worried. He had never seen Jennifer act so happy about a customer before. Jennifer walked back toward the counter where Marcus was standing. Her face had changed from excitement to something more serious. She looked at Marcus with an expression that made him feel nervous. "Marcus," she said quietly, "we need to talk. Right now." Marcus felt his heart start beating faster. Jennifer's tone told him that he was in trouble, but he still did not understand why. All he had done was try to save a customer from looking at products he could not afford. "What's wrong?" Marcus asked, trying to sound innocent. "I was just helping that customer understand what he was looking at." Jennifer shook her head slowly. "Marcus, do you have any idea who that customer was?" Marcus thought about the question. The customer had said his name was Kevin, and he claimed to work in entertainment. But Marcus still thought the guy looked like a regular person who was probably lying about his job. "His name was Kevin something," Marcus replied. "He said he worked in entertainment, but I don't know. He didn't look like someone important." Jennifer stared at Marcus with disbelief. "Marcus, that was Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, the famous comedian and actor. You were rude to one of the most famous people in America." Marcus felt like someone had hit him in the stomach. Kevin Hart? The comedian from movies and television? The guy who sold out huge comedy shows and made millions of dollars? "That's impossible," Marcus said weakly. "Kevin Hart is a celebrity. He would dress fancy and have bodyguards and stuff. That guy was just wearing regular clothes." Jennifer pulled out her phone and opened up a webpage. She showed Marcus pictures of Kevin Hart from his movies and comedy shows. The face in the pictures was exactly the same as the customer who had just left their store. Marcus looked at the pictures and felt sick. There was no doubt about it. The customer he had laughed at and been rude to was really Kevin Hart, one of the most successful comedians in the world. "Oh no," Marcus whispered, looking at the photos on Jennifer's phone. "Oh no, oh no, oh no." Jennifer continued showing Marcus different pictures. Kevin Hart at award shows. Kevin Hart in movies. Kevin Hart performing comedy in front of thousands of people. Every picture showed the same face that Marcus had dismissed as unimportant. "He's been shopping here quietly for months," Jennifer explained. "He never makes a big deal about who he is. He just comes in, looks around, and buys what he needs. He's always polite and respectful to everyone." Marcus felt worse and worse as Jennifer talked. Kevin Hart had been a regular customer, and Marcus had never noticed. Worse than that, Marcus had treated him terribly today. "Why didn't you tell me?" Marcus asked desperately. "If I had known he was famous, I would have acted different." Jennifer's expression became angry. "Marcus, that's exactly the problem. You should treat every customer with respect, whether they're famous or not. It shouldn't matter if someone is a celebrity or just a regular person." Marcus knew Jennifer was right, but he still felt confused. But he was dressed so normal. How was I supposed to know he was someone important? "You weren't supposed to know," Jennifer said firmly. "You were supposed to be polite and helpful to every customer, no matter how they look or dress. That's what good customer service means." Jennifer showed Marcus more pictures on her phone. There were photos of Kevin Hart's huge house, his expensive cars, and his successful comedy shows. This was a man who made millions of dollars every year. "Could buy this entire store if he wanted to," Jennifer said. "And you treated him like he was bothering you." Marcus sat down on a stool behind the counter. He felt dizzy and sick. The biggest celebrity he had ever met had been in his store, and Marcus had been rude to him. This was the worst thing that had ever happened to him at work. "What should I do?" Marcus asked Jennifer. "Should I call him and apologize? Should I write him a letter?" Jennifer looked at Marcus with disappointment. "Marcus, this isn't just about Kevin Hart. This is about how you treat all customers. I've been watching you for months, and you're always rude to people who don't look wealthy." Marcus tried to defend himself. "I'm not rude to everyone. I'm nice to customers who are serious about buying things." "No," Jennifer said sharply. "You're only nice to customers who look rich. You judge people by their clothes and their cars. That's not how customer service works." Jennifer was right, and Marcus knew it. He had been treating customers differently, based on how much money he thought they had. He had developed a bad habit of deciding who was worth his time and who was not. "Kevin Hart could have complained to corporate," Jennifer continued. "He could have posted about his bad experience on social media. Do you know how many people follow him online? Millions. He could have ruined our store's reputation with one post." Marcus had not thought about that possibility. Famous people had a lot of power on social media. If Kevin Hart had posted about being treated badly at Henderson's Electronics, it could have been a disaster for the store. "But he didn't complain," Jennifer said. "He was polite and patient, even though you were rude to him. That shows what kind of person he is." Marcus felt even worse knowing that Kevin Hart had been nice to him even after Marcus had been rude. Kevin could have gotten Marcus fired, but instead he had been understanding and polite. "I messed up really bad," Marcus admitted. "What's going to happen to me?" Jennifer looked at Marcus seriously. "I don't know yet. I need to think about this. But Marcus, this can't happen again, ever. You need to change how you treat customers, or you won't be able to work here anymore." The rest of Marcus's shift passed slowly. He kept thinking about his interaction with Kevin Hart and feeling worse about it. Every time a customer came into the store, Marcus wondered if they might be someone famous that he did not recognize. Sarah came over to Marcus during a quiet moment. "I heard what happened," she said softly. "I tried to signal you to be nicer, but you weren't paying attention." Marcus realized that other people had noticed his bad behavior too. He had been so obvious about being rude that even his coworkers had seen it. When Marcus's shift ended, he drove home feeling terrible. He kept replaying the conversation with Kevin Hart in his mind. He remembered every rude comment he had made, and every time he had laughed at Kevin's questions. That night, Marcus looked up Kevin Hart online. He watched videos of Kevin's comedy shows and saw how funny and talented he was. He read about Kevin's success and how hard he had worked to become famous. Marcus also read about how Kevin Hart was known for being nice to fans and treating people well. There were stories about Kevin helping people and being generous with his time and money. This made Marcus feel even worse. He had been rude to someone who was famous for being kind to others. Kevin Hart was not just a successful comedian, he was also a good person who deserved to be treated with respect. As Marcus tried to fall asleep that night, he could not stop thinking about what had happened. He knew his job might be in danger because of how he had acted. But more than that, he was starting to realize that his whole attitude toward people needed to change. Marcus did not know it yet, But his encounter with Kevin Hart was about to lead to even bigger changes in his life. The lessons he was learning were just the beginning of a story that would surprise him more than he could ever imagine. The next morning, Marcus arrived at work 30 minutes early. He wanted to make sure everything was perfect before the store opened. He had spent the entire night thinking about Kevin Hart's visit and what it meant for his future. Kevin had scheduled a staff meeting for that morning to explain his vision for the store and introduce new policies. Marcus felt nervous but excited to hear what Kevin had planned. At exactly 9 o'clock, Kevin walked into the store wearing a business suit this time. He looked professional and confident as he gathered all the employees together near the front counter. "Good morning, everyone," Kevin said with his characteristic smile. "I wanted to talk to all of you about my plans for this store and what I expect from our team." Marcus listened carefully to every word Kevin said. He was determined to be the kind of employee that Kevin wanted on his team. "First, let me tell you why I bought this store," Kevin began. "I've been shopping here for months and I saw the potential for something special. This location has everything we need to create an amazing customer experience." Kevin explained that he wanted to turn Henderson's Electronics into a premium retail destination. The store would carry high-end products and provide exceptional customer service that would make people want to come back again and again. "Customer service will be the foundation of everything we do," Kevin continued. "Every person who walks through that door should feel welcomed, respected, and valued. It doesn't matter if they're buying a phone charger or a $1,000 camera. Everyone gets the same excellent treatment." Marcus felt the weight of Kevin's words. This was exactly the lesson he had learned the hard way when he misjudged Kevin. During his shopping visit, Kevin announced that all employees would participate in professional customer service training over the next 2 weeks. The training would cover communication skills, product knowledge, and how to make every customer feel important. "I know change can be challenging," Kevin said, "but I believe in all of you. Jennifer has told me good things about each member of this team, and I want to give everyone the opportunity to grow and succeed." Marcus felt grateful that Jennifer had spoken positively about him, despite his past mistakes. It showed that she believed in his ability to change and improve. Kevin then talked about the renovation plans in more detail. The store would be closed for 3 days while contractors installed new displays, painted the walls, and reorganized the layout. During that time, employees would attend training sessions and learn about the new products they would be selling. "After the renovation is complete, we'll have a grand reopening celebration," Kevin announced. "I want the whole community to see what we've created here." Kevin also announced that there would be opportunities for advancement within the company. Employees who showed excellent customer service skills and leadership potential could be promoted to supervisory positions or even help manage other store locations that Kevin was planning to open. "I'm building a company based on treating people right," Kevin explained. "That means treating customers right and treating employees right too." After the group meeting, Kevin asked to speak with each employee privately. When it was Marcus's turn, Kevin led him to a quiet corner of the store where they could talk without being overheard. "Marcus, I want to have an honest conversation with you," Kevin said. "I know you were worried about your job after what happened last week." Marcus nodded nervously. "Yes, sir. I know I made a terrible first impression." Kevin smiled kindly. "You know what impressed me most about our interaction? When you realized your mistake, you apologized sincerely. That takes character." Marcus felt surprised by Kevin's response. He had expected criticism, not praise. "Everyone makes mistakes," Kevin continued. "What matters is what we do after we make them. Do we learn and grow, or do we keep making the same mistakes over and over?" Marcus thought about all the times he had judged customers based on their appearance. He realized that his encounter with Kevin was just the most dramatic example of a pattern of poor behavior. "I've learned my lesson," Marcus said earnestly. "I understand now that you can't judge people by how they look or dress. I've been treating every customer with respect this week, and I plan to continue doing that." Kevin nodded approvingly. "That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Jennifer has noticed the improvement in your customer service, and she's impressed with the changes you've made." Kevin then made an offer that shocked Marcus completely. I'd like you to consider taking on a leadership role during our transition, Kevin said. I need someone to help train new employees and make sure our customer service standards are being met. Are you interested? Marcus could hardly believe what he was hearing. Kevin was offering him a promotion and more responsibility, even after his terrible behavior the week before. I would be honored, Marcus replied. But why me? After how I treated you, why would you trust me with more responsibility? Kevin's answer was simple but profound. Because you've learned from your mistake. People who have learned hard lessons often become the best teachers for others. Kevin explained that Marcus would receive additional training in leadership and customer service management. He would work closely with Jennifer to ensure that all employees followed the new customer service standards. I believe in second chances, Kevin said. Everyone deserves the opportunity to prove they can do better. Over the following weeks, Marcus threw himself into his new role with dedication and enthusiasm. He attended every training session, studied product manuals in his spare time, and practiced customer service scenarios until he could handle any situation. When the store reopened after renovation, it looked completely different. The displays were modern and attractive, the lighting was warm and welcoming, and there were comfortable areas where customers could test products and ask questions. Marcus had become the store's customer service supervisor, helping to train new employees and ensuring that every customer received excellent treatment. He shared his story with new hires, explaining how he had learned the importance of treating everyone with respect. The store's reputation for outstanding customer service spread quickly through the community. Customers began choosing Henderson's Electronics not just for the products, but for the experience of shopping there. Marcus often thought about the day he first met Kevin Hart. What had started as the most embarrassing moment of his career had become the catalyst for positive changes in his life. He had learned that success and importance came in many different forms, and that every person deserved to be treated with dignity and respect. 6 months after Kevin bought the store, Marcus was promoted to assistant manager of the location. He had gone from being a rude cashier who might have been fired to being a leader in Kevin's growing company. One day, a customer came into the store wearing old clothes and looking around nervously at the expensive electronics. Marcus immediately walked over with a warm smile. "Good morning," Marcus said politely. "Welcome to Henderson's Electronics. How can I help you today?" The customer seemed surprised by Marcus's friendly greeting. "I'm just looking around. I probably can't afford anything here." Marcus smiled even bigger. "Everyone is welcome here and there's no pressure to buy anything. Let me show you around and explain what we have. You never know what might be perfect for your needs." As Marcus helped the customer explore different products and options, he remembered his own transformation. He had learned that treating people well was not just good for business, it was the right thing to do. Kevin Hart had taught Marcus that true success came from lifting others up, not putting them down. It was a lesson that Marcus would carry with him for the rest of his life, and it had all started with one customer who looked ordinary, but turned out to be extraordinary.